I know you told me to come back in 2 weeks. It's only been 2 years. How come it's not working? Okay? I'm sure you guys have all seen that. Too much, too little. All right? I need you to do this exercise with your dog 12 times a day. Great. Comes back in. Doc, I got him up to 36 times a day. No, we weren't looking for a personal best. We just needed you to do the right thing. You've been doing those exercises? Well, you know, it's tough. We've been busy. You know. How come he's not getting any better? All right? Got to do some follow-up. It's got to be, you know. So if we're not getting good follow-up, written instructions to the owner. Pre-printed, hand them out. Don't be writing while they're there. That's a waste of your time and a waste of their time. Because how many of you tell the same thing over and over and over again to the same owner? You know, we sell a lot of brochures, we sell a lot of posters, we sell a lot of DVDs, we sell all that stuff. You know why? Why it's all written? Because I'm ADD. And if I tell you something, and then I got to tell you the same thing, and then you come in, I really don't understand why you didn't hear it when I talked to her. Sorry. So we made brochures, we made pamphlets, and I figured if I had to do it, you guys just as well get it too. So we've got all that available. Copy them, print, steal them, I don't care. Plagiarism is the greatest form of flattery you can have, so, you know. Put your logo and contact information on everything. On everything. I cannot tell you the number of people that I talk to that use an animal chiropractor and don't know their name. Yeah, that's scary, isn't it? Who adjusts your dog? I don't know. How can we see if he's got any credentials or not? I don't know. Do you ever check him? Why? Okay. That's a little scary to me. Our logo's on everything. Schedule the next appointment before the first one ends. You know? And make them pay for it. If you pay for the next appointment before you leave, you coming back? If not, dude. So if I have a no-show, if I don't show up at your office, but I already paid for that 10, 15, 20 minutes, are you stressing as much as if I'm a no-show and you didn't charge me? Now, you know, you just wasted 15 minutes of your day and didn't get any income. You could have scheduled somebody else. Consider prepayments or penalties. I mean, and I know it's not necessarily in our business, but man, prepayment plans are great, especially for horse clients. We love our prepayments. What time do you get off work? Just give me a time. 6? We'll try to be there after 6. I know where her horse is. I can send her records via email after I see her horse, and she's already paid. What's the only reason to have her there?
If she wants to see the adjustment.
She saw the first one.
Yeah.
She was there for the first one. If she wants to be there, she can be there, but all it's going to do is eat my time. You know? All right. How many of you adjust horses with blankets on? How many of you adjust naked people?
No, just people.
Who adjusts people? How many of you adjust naked people? What's the difference? A horse with a blanket on, a naked person. I guarantee if the owner's there, you got to take that blanket off. And then they got to put it back on before you get the next horse out. And then they'll bring the next horse out and they got to take that blanket off. Oh, he's a little dirty. Let me brush him for you, Doc. Right? Is that all fine and dandy? You bet it's all great. But whose time is that utilizing? And is it a positive use of your time? So start thinking about positive use of your time. Because what are you worth? Huh? What's your value? Any of you making $15 an hour anymore? I hope not. Better not be. Oh, it's an awful long way to pay for chiropractic school or vet school at $15 an hour, isn't it? All right? So we're worth. Who determines your worth? You do. Yep. All right. Wrong paradigm. I tried chiropractic once, but it didn't seem to work. How many times you heard that? My biggest thing is who adjusted them? Who adjusted them? Not because I just want to know if you truly tried chiropractic. You know, because we got a lot of guys in our area that saw it done. I seen it done once. I already am a chiropractor now. You know, I can go compete with that fairly easy. If one of you guys has been there, then maybe we're gonna have to try something different. But it's huge. Who's doing it? Because maybe they really weren't doing chiropractic. Maybe what they got that was called chiropractic is XYZ. You know, I worked in a vet clinic for a while where she decided, well, when I first started working there, she was like, well, I do chiropractic. It's a little different than what you do, but okay. So then after we got there, after I was there for a while, she decided that she changed the way she billed, and she did chiropractic light, and I did chiropractic. And it was two different invoice items. You could get chiropractic light, which was a VOM, or you could get chiropractic. And there was a lot of animals that got chiropractic light that got switched over to chiropractic, believe me. But, you know, she said, well, I do chiropractic light so that I hold them over until the days you come. So, all right. But even she knew eventually that what she was doing was not chiropractic. Didn't take her very long. But everybody wants to try the new drug, man, don't they? Let's just try that new drug. You know? And what amazes me is that I've been in vet clinics where the drug salesmen have come in, and how many drug salesmen have PhDs, DVMs, anything like that? Any of your drug salesmen that come to your clinics got even masters? Most of them haven't even been to college, have they? But they're out there selling drugs. They come in, they got this new drug, and some of the vets I've seen, they'll be like, oh my God, yeah, we'll try that. Okay? And then I say, well, let's talk about chiropractic. No, that's voodoo shit. Wait a minute, you're gonna go with this new drug based on what this high school educated guy told you, but yet you won't try chiropractic. It's been around for 100 years. That is scientifically valid, okay? It's because our paradigm, we have to teach. We have to teach. Right? Remember the sales tenets from Friday's lecture, okay? Just because we're doing animal chiropractic doesn't mean they're any different than that drug salesman. You know, he's coming in there and saying, here, try this new drug, and the vets are going, yeah, let's do it. Because they have faith, confidence, and belief in Big Pharma. That's scary, isn't it? But it's out there, and it's huge, right? She's over there talking about functional neurology and how habits occur and what it takes to break down habits, right? Is it easy to break new habits? Is it easy to create new habits? How many days does it take to create a new habit? Anybody know? Huh?
21.
21 days. How many days does it take to break down an old habit? About 21 days. How many times we had to hit somebody over the head with a 2x4 before they forget and change their way of thinking that drugs are the way to go? Probably close to 21 times because we're breaking their old habit. Okay? All right. So don't get discouraged. It's the biggest thing when we're talking to the owners. All we can do is keep knocking at the door. All we can do is keep showing them stuff. I've talked to a few of you at the booth that do traditional medicine, but are having trouble incorporating animal chiropractic into your deal. Right? Thanks for bringing your dog in for his wellness shots today. Let me do a little physical here before I go get the shots. Oh, his legs are uneven. Oh, his back doesn't move. He can turn to the right, but not to the left. I'll be right back. What's she thinking about while I'm out here getting the vaccines? He just told me my dog's all screwed up. Don't offer to fix it yet. Let her stew a while. Come back in, bring the shots back in. Okay, are you ready? What's the first question? It's gonna be,
Can you fix my dog?
can you fix my dog? Oh, okay, I thought you said he was okay. He was healthy. Oh, okay, yes, definitely. That would be what we call chiropractic. Right? Did I sell chiropractic or did she ask me about it? All I did was show her. Okay? Right. Wrong expectations. We gotta know. Things are as they are. If you're suffering the way because of the way things are, it's because you've imagined a different outcome than what's there. Alright? The outcome is what it is. We are what we are. Think about how you're talking to people. Alright? There was a rat and a cat that lived in a goat barn. And of course the rat kept eating the cheese and the cat couldn't catch it, and the goat owner told the cat, you better get to going or we're gonna have to kick you out and get a different cat. So the rat would get ready to go get the cheese and he'd listen, and if he could hear the cat going meow, 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 then he'd stay in. So one day he's listening and he hears roof, 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 roof. He goes, yeah, cat can't be in here because there's a dog, right? So the rat goes out to get the cheese and the cat nabs him. Just before he gets eaten, the rat asks the cat, he says, what the heck? He says, yep. He said, the goat farmer told me you were gonna kick me out if I didn't catch you, so I had to learn a new language. Right? So maybe if we're not teaching, if we're not getting through to our clients, we might need to learn a new language. Think about it. I mean, I believe that the vertebral subluxation is a huge thing. Okay? I think it's the most important thing we deal with. There's been a couple people, both here and at chiropractic conventions, that say maybe we need a new word. I don't know. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. However, I do know that when I tell a barrel racer that the numbness in her horse's foot is from a vertebral subluxation, she says, well, maybe we'll get a bone scan. Right? But when I tell them that the numbness in their horse's foot is due to a neurological problem caused by impingement on the nervous system somewhere between the brain and the foot, that's decreasing nerve transmission by at least 50%, I believe I can remove that impingement and we can get that numbness back, or numbness to go away, and if we do, your horse will run at 100%. Wow, you think you can do that? Yeah, I think so. Let's see what happens. Adjust the horse, feelings back in the leg. Wow. What's the difference between I removed this vertebral subluxation or I did that other stuff? Okay? All I did was change my language. I learned a different language. Now I'm talking in layman's terms. Because how many of you know people, how you feel, I don't know, they just don't know what's wrong with me. And then all of a sudden you see them and they're like, oh, you look like you feel better. I feel great. They told me I got stage 4 liver disease, but I'm fantastic. Because they know what's wrong with them. And they're happy because they got a diagnosis. Right? It's amazing. So let's help them get a diagnosis. Yes, vertebral subluxations. That's what we find. That's what we remove. And we are experts at that. But we've got to get better at communicating with our clients about what we do. Because if they don't trust us, they won't buy our services. And if they don't buy our services, how many vertebral subluxations can we remove? Not very many, can we? Right. We got to identify our goal. So they have to understand the chiropractic premise. We have to let them know what it is. We can't, I got adjusted today, and I'm still hoarse a little bit. But you know what? I got adjusted today because this is part of my game phase. And I'm ready to come bring it. All right? I'm glad y'all came to get it. So the 3 fundamental tenets of chiropractic. The body is a self-healing and self-regulating organism. Because if we don't believe the body can heal itself, why are we here? Has anybody ever seen an animal with an ivermectin deficiency? No, me neither. Didn't think so. Right? So how about antibiotic deficiency? No. Both of those animals have a problem with their T lymphocytes. Antibiotics can help T lymphocytes? No. Ivermectin can help T lymphocytes? Nope. What's the only thing that we have in our arsenal that's going to increase T lymphocyte activity by up to 400%? The adjustment. Don't forget it. Don't forget the adjustment. The nervous system is the master control system of the body. It controls everything. Okay? Nothing happens without a functioning nervous system. Any interference in the nervous system prevents the body from properly self-healing and self-regulating. Remember these 3 things every day. The role of the chiropractor is to detect and correct subluxation so the body can function at its best. Chiropractors remove interference to nerve flow so the body can heal. And remember, we don't fix stuff. How many times have you been tempted to say when somebody comes in and says, "Oh my God, you fixed my dog," and you're like, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Anybody ever been there? You bet. But did you really fix it? Nope. All we did was remove interference so that body, that dog, that horse, that cat could heal himself. Could heal himself. Because that's what we do. Right? That's all we do. Because there's a vast difference between treating effects and adjusting the cause. D.D. Palmer. Scientific American says no one can survive without the precise signaling in the cells. Not just signaling in the cells, precise signaling in the cells. It must be exact. Body functions properly only because the cells constantly communicate with each other. Okay? Constantly communicate with each other. And that communication has to be great. There's over 3 trillion bits of information going to your brain right now every second. Think about that number. 3 trillion. Aren't you glad you don't have to think about all 3 trillion of those little bits of information coming into your brain and what to do with it? We can consciously think about 50 bits of information, and of those 50 bits of information, only 5 of them deal with pain. If you do the math, that means 0% of your brain is dealing with pain right now. But yet, why do most people seek out a chiropractor? Because 0% of the brain is engaged in pain. And they come when that becomes a major thing. Wow, how much of the brain is totally jacked up by that point? In Heidi Havoc's work, she's proven that one vertebral subluxation anywhere in the body affects this thing called white noise. So remember those 3 trillion bits of information and you're only thinking about 50. So the other 2,999,900, anyway, all but 50, 3 trillion minus 50, that's called white noise. One vertebral subluxation anywhere in the body affects the way the brain handles all that white noise. So the fact that the third cell from the outside of your middle toe on your left foot just took a shit, and now that's got to travel up your leg, all right, past your kneecap, past your hip joint, into the liver, so it can be removed next time you go to the bathroom. All right? Aren't you glad that works good? Aren't you glad you're subluxation free so those toilets don't back up? Because if you have one subluxation anywhere in your body, your brain may not handle that sewage right. Just saying. How many of you know somebody that needs their sewer fixed? Okay, we're gonna fix it in the ankle, or are we gonna fix it in the neck? It's why a cervical adjustment, any adjustment, works so well. Problem is the same as when you were here before. Okay, I hear this. 2 questions for the owner. Still or again? Is there anybody that doesn't know the difference between those 2 questions? Why you would ask that? Okay, it's huge, because thank God about 95% of my clients answer again. And that's okay, because we can deal with again. Still, then we have to go, that's another layer of the onion. But most of them say again. So what can we do? We can come more often. We can change the rehab. We can start looking at why the animal's not holding his adjustment any longer than he is. Okay? Deedle deedle dumpling, one shoe on, one shoe off. When I adjusted your horse, he'd thrown his shoe. I see the farrier still hasn't been back out yet. It's been 3 weeks. Why isn't the horse holding his adjustment? Well, yeah, we've been busy. The farrier's not getting here. Well, pull the other shoe off then. How hard's that? At least try to make him bilaterally symmetrical until the farrier can get back. But still or again. Why didn't you call and let me know if it's still? Why didn't you let me know he wasn't doing any better? All right? We send an email out now on day 3. So after first visits or long-term follow-up visits, we send an email out. And it does a couple things. The email says basically, hey, thanks for bringing your dog in. It was great seeing you. I hope he's doing great. I hope you had a pleasant experience. If not, call us. And here's our phone number. If it was a great experience, why don't you click on one of these 2 links below, all right, and leave us a positive review. And we'll give you something next time you come in. And those 2 links below, one's to our Google review and the other one's to our Facebook review. Because how many of you get Google and Facebook reviews when you just put the sign on the door, the sign on the checkout, and says do a Google review, do a Facebook review? How many of you leave Google and Facebook reviews? Why not? Because when do they ask for them? Are you at your computer? No, they ask for these inopportune times. Hey, give me a Google or Facebook review. Yeah, I will. How many of you are on your computer right now? How many of you could leave me a Google or Facebook review right now? Nobody. But when you read your email, where are you at? When you read your email, could you give me a Google or Facebook review? You bet. In fact, if you email Dr. Ormston, DRORMSTON @hotmail.com and say, send me the Google review sheet, I will send you my exact client letter. So the letter you get, email from me will say, thank you for bringing your dog in. I don't expect you to click on the link and give me a Google or Facebook review about your dog. I expect you to copy the email and use it. So send me an email if you want that, drormston @hotmail.com, and I'll send you an email. I'll send you the email that we send to our clients, and you can use it. All right? All right. Have you been using icing, exercising, or other anti-inflammatories? Remember that other anti-inflammatories reduce prostaglandins at the spinal cord. Prostaglandins are nociceptors. Everybody stand up. Did some exercise this morning. Okay, everybody look at somebody next to you and stand on one leg and talk to them. But pay attention to them and talk to them. Make eye contact. Talk to them a little bit. Hey, how y'all doing? Yeah. All right. Nobody's really wobbling except for a couple people. But now, all right. No. You might be wobbling a little bit. So now what I want you to do is not look at the other person, but I want you to look at your foot and I want you to take control of your balance. And how's that work for you? It's worse, isn't it? How come? Because we went from spinal reflex to brain. And who's slower? The brain is slower than your spinal reflex. What do prostaglandins, anti-inflammatories, anti-prostaglandins, what do those guys do for you? They get rid of your spinal reflexes. They make them slower, so now the brain has to control. So why, when athletes perform on non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, do they have career-ending injuries? Because we took away their protection mechanisms. What happens to proprioception with an appropriate chiropractic exam and adjustment? It increases. My dog's going to run next week, and I'm not sure. I want to make sure he doesn't hurt. What should he do? Would you write me? You can't do it, but would somebody here write me a script for COX-2 inhibitors? No. How about giving my dog adjustment? There we go. Because that's what it is. We need to be ready to talk to our clients in a language they understand. Okay? It might be different. It takes time. Yep. You know, how many of you, anybody here ever been asked, you're just trying to get my dog addicted to chiropractic care, aren't you? You bet. Because if I get enough of y'all addicted to chiropractic care, I can retire. Just kidding. Never said that. But, you know, it takes time. We've got to keep coming back. It's a repeated thing. Then how long does the adjustment take? You know what? It's only going to take me a couple minutes to adjust your dog, horse, cat, whatever. But boy, it's going to take a long time. Up to 6 hours before the body's done with it. Might be up to 2 or 3 days before we actually see all the results. All right? And I tell people to take notes. Start taking notes. Even if I'm pretty sure that the major complaint's not going to go away, I want to take notes. Take notes about everything your dog does. Because a lot of times, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on they haven't even told you about. I had this older dog come in, wreck tail, Shar-Pei, all right? This older Shar-Pei come in, and the lady said, you know what? She can't get comfortable at night. He's not able to curl up in a fetal position, and I just really need him to be more comfortable. So we adjusted him. She called me back, said, oh my God, it's fantastic. He actually slept last night. He curled up in his bed, slept all night. It's the first time in like 6 months he slept all night. You're fantastic. So, dog wouldn't be able to get in bed. She'd bring it in and adjust it. So, I don't know, about 4 years later, the dog died. She wrote me a letter. She said, "Thank you so much for giving my dog 4 years of comfortable life. And oh, by the way, he never had an ear infection after you started adjusting him." But that's just an old age Shar-Pei thing. His tail was always erect after you started adjusting him, because, you know, it was not. And I found that as long as I got him adjusted every 3 to 4 weeks, he quit leaking in the house. And here, all I thought I was doing was making it so the dog could sleep. So have these people write things down, especially these ones that are like their expectations are too high. Well, let's write down what you did. Right? You know, owner brings the dog in a box, right? 2 years later, the dog comes in, walking in, and I just don't think this is working with me, dog. She's not jumping up on the bed or anything anymore. I think maybe we need to switch to drugs or something. That's when we go, you know what? Maybe you're right, I don't know. Let's just get that first video out and see. Pop up the first video, go to the dog's name, pop up the first video, play that first video, and let's compare that to today. Yeah, maybe it is working, you think? Well, yeah, I forgot how bad we were. Seriously, you forgot your dog was in a box when you first brought it to me? Oh, well, yeah, kind of. I didn't remember that. I know I was kind of sick, but I can't remember it that bad. People forget. People forget. Video this stuff. The other thing about videos is it makes it non-anecdotal. Videos are medical records. You know, you can write. How long does it take you to write a good neurological exam, a good abnormal neurological exam up? You know? Dragging toes, not crossing legs, not uncrossing legs. He's got wide, you know, blah, blah, blah. By the time you got it done, guess what? By the time you did all the testing, you got it all, the proof right here. Abnormal neural exam, see video. Right? And now, used to be we had to get the video camera out, all that stuff. Now we got our iPhone. I hate that stuff. Health returns in cycles. Directly proportional to the way I was lost. Okay? So, you know, we're not going to be able to don't expect these dogs to do great things or these horses to do great things immediately. It might be coming back in waves. So our short-term aim should be to restore motion in the vertebral units. Because every organ must have motion in order to live, especially the spine. And that's our goal, is to restore motion to the motor units. Because destroyed functional activity is dis-ease. Restored power, flow, you know, restores muscular motion, which restores body coordination. Ease is the result. Okay? And this is not, if you go back and read some of Dee Dee's work and BJ's work, this ease is not a misspelling of the word disease. It means the body is not at ease. Okay? Because there's a lot of people that think we just hyphenated it so we could, you know, differentiate it from disease. No, it's not. When you read the books, the green books, it's because the body that's not moving properly is at dis-ease. When we restore motion, then movement becomes easy. So originally, that hyphenated word had nothing to do with disease. When we go back to the root of some of that stuff, it's pretty cool. That's from Fame and Fortune. All right. So the goals of chiropractic care: to improve function, reduce pain and muscle spasm, optimize performance, stimulate neurological reflexes, improve speed, accuracy, restoring motion in the joints. Nope. Those are side effects. good side effects, but don't let the client tell you those are the goals. Because then that's when we have this problem with communication. All right? Okay? So those side effects cannot be our goal. So when we communicate with these people, because we identify and remove vertebral subluxations that are causing interference to the nervous system. That's all we do. And it's a great job, isn't it? And a never-ending one at that, too. We have job security. As long as we remember how to communicate. So, results of successful chiropractic care: to improve the nervous system ability to coordinate the healing process, to reduce the likelihood and frequency of injury, to promote full healing. You know, one thing we don't have in our practice, we don't have horses run through fences. Can't remember the last time one of our horses that's in chiropractic care ran through a fence. Anybody have any idea why? Yeah, they're adjusted, but why would that make a difference when they go to run through a fence or not? Yep. Decision making though. Why would a horse run through a fence? Because he's scared. The lion over here is worse than the injury I'm going to get when I run through the fence. In America today, how bad are the lions on this side of the fence? As bad as running through or not? Not very many of us have lions in our pasture that are going to hurt the horse worse than running through a fence. So by balancing their sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, we allow the horses and animals and our clients to make better decisions. How many of you heard Dr. Amy talk about Dakota and the prison system yesterday? Anybody? Just a few. Do you mind if I repeat it? Our students, not us, I can't even take credit for this. Our students adjust the dogs that bark. Muskie Animal Rescue Kennel. It's a no-kill shelter. When we started, they had a high fighting rate, a high drug bill, and a high rate of return when they adopted these puppies. Since our students have been going there twice a month and doing all the adjusting, their drug bill goes down, their dog fights have gone down, and they have a lower rate of return. These dogs are finding happy forever homes. Pretty cool, right? That would be enough to end the story, don't you think? All right, this lady by the name of Dakota worked for us. Dakota's on the board at BARC. Dakota made some bad lifestyle changes before she met us. Okay, long time before she met us. And a pretty significant person in her life got put in jail for 55 years. All right, so she goes to visit him. She's standing in line. She meets a chiropractor. They get to start talking. What do you do? Oh, you're a chiropractor? Great. I work for some animal chiropractors. What? Yeah, I work for animal chiropractors. You know, one of the things they've done at this rescue that I work with is they decreased the drug bill, they decreased the fighting rate, and they decreased the recidivism rate. A no-kill animal shelter, that's kind of like a prison, isn't it? Maybe we should talk to the Texas prison system and see what we can get done here. So they did. 500 prisoners got adjusted in January, February, March, April, May. They're supposed to get done in June. 500 prisoners got adjusted once a month for 5 months. All the prison guards that were in those cell blocks got adjusted if they wanted it. And this is the maximum security prison where this is happening at. Somebody said, you know, this probably ain't working. It's not worth our time or money, so let's quit. So in June, they didn't get their adjustment. In July, they had the biggest prison riot that Texas has seen in the last like 25 years. Huge riot. They said, maybe we ought to be going back and adjusting these prisoners again. So they started adjusting them again. They got their adjustment in July, August, September. In October, an MD went in and looked at the records and looked at all the stuff and said, you know what? This chiropractic stuff has got something going on. We're spending 75% less on drugs, on the prisoners that are getting adjusted than we were before they got adjusted. There's a lot less fighting, there's a lot less, and those guys that are getting out aren't coming back. As of January 1st, there will be 5,000 prisoners that get adjusted in the state of Texas prison. All because we had a gal work for us that made a mistake once. So you never know how what you say or do today can affect somebody on down the road. Okay? How many of those prisoners did we make, are we gonna make a significant change in their life? And oh, by the way, because one of the things we do at lunch every day with our employees is we do I am awesome, you are B. It says I am positive, huh?
I am super.
Super. I am
Wonderful.
wonderful. I am awesome. I am
fantastic.
fantastic.
I'm happy.
I am happy. Guess another thing that one cell prison block did when they were getting adjusted. Every night when they went to bed, they did I ams down the prison block around the cell. We just did it because of her, because she said we need to have a more positive attitude at work. Now a bunch of prisoners are doing it and they have more positive self-esteem. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, about your game phase. But anyway, bonuses of chiropractic care, but this cannot be the aim. Remember that. These are bonuses, these are side effects. You've got to know. Life of the newborn depends upon the preservation and healthy functioning of the brainstem and spinal cord at the lower level of the upper neck. All right? Notice who said that. An MD. Does he have any way to affect that? Nope. But we do. But we do. It's huge. It's huge. The earlier abnormal spinal function can be recognized and corrected in a child's life, or a foal's life, or a puppy's life, the greater the opportunity that child will have for neurological development. Get your babies adjusted early. How many of you have breeders in your practice? How many of you adjust those babies when they're still wet? You know? Or how many of them do you talk to and they say, yeah, we'll recommend when those puppies go out at 8 or 12 weeks, we'll recommend they get chiropractic care. All right? We've got to go back and educate these people. We have to start talking about this stuff. The adjustment. Our chicken study is so cool. We took day-old chickens. There's no birth trauma with day-old chickens, is there? Yeah, there is. I'm amazed at how many of them had subluxation. Talk about audibles. You adjust a day-old chick, 14 cervical vertebrae. Man, they're loud. 14. So we had 50 chickens. We adjusted 25. We didn't adjust the other 25. They were all identified. Weighed them every 2 weeks. Petted the non-adjusted chickens. Adjusted the adjusted chickens. So see, the petted chickens got love and care. Just like the adjusted ones did. They both got the same amount of touch. Right? At the end, the biostatistician said, yes, your chickens are more significantly vigorous than the chickens that were non-adjusted. That was cool, because we were 92 days to market instead of 114. But the cool part was what the 5-star chef said. Yeah, people. Chickens that were adjusted were juicier than the chickens that weren't adjusted. Yep. Pretty cool, huh? There's research being done on this stuff all the time. We just have to make it. You're doing research in your clinic.
We have chickens, just to confirm that, we have over 50 chickens, and all of our girls get adjusted. And I have people, they're corn and soy free, and people are astounded at the eggs. They don't understand why they taste so good. They're confused. And then we have broiler chickens this last year, and all of them got adjusted and we harvested the meat. It is, I can't even tell you, you can never eat any chicken. If you eat chicken, ugh.
once you eat an adjusted chicken, you can never go back.
And we're not gonna harvest our ducks, but our ducks get adjusted also.
Yeah.
But we do the duck eggs, and they're the same thing. People can't believe the duck eggs, they taste completely different, no joke.
Yep, it works. It works. See, we're doing the research every day. Here's the thing. People will say, well, there's no double-blind research. Okay? Before you knew what you know, and an animal came in with a subluxated atlas, and the owner said it was healthy, and you did a TPR, and it was within normal limits. It was healthy, correct? Because you didn't know what you didn't know. And now an animal comes in and the owner says it's healthy and you do a TPR and it's within normal limits and you put your hands on his atlas and the atlas is subluxated. He's not healthy. Can you vaccinate that animal? Because vaccines are only allowable and only approved for use in healthy animals. May not work as well. You're going to tell the owner that? I hope so. And if a double-blind study, your Hippocratic Oath said what? First do what? First do no harm, right? So in a double-blind study, because you know what you know, that dog, that animal, is in the control group, and he's not allowed to get adjusted. But first, you must do no harm. Why are there no double-blind studies in chiropractic study by ethical doctors? You can't have a control because you can't not adjust that atlas because you know what harm it's doing because the brain can't unsee what it's seen. So before we knew what we knew, we could go ahead and let that animal go. But now that we know what we know, we can't. We have to adjust. How long since the last adjustment? Right? So I had this one lady call up and she said, you know, I'm going to one of your students and he's not any good. But somebody said I should come to you and I said, okay. All right, what do you mean he's not any good? Well, he adjusted my horse and it worked for a little while. Well, okay. How long's a little while? Well, I quit working about 3 weeks ago. Okay, fine. How long ago did you see him? 6 months ago. Go back and see him again. Don't drive and see me, and I'm sorry driving to see you. You're 5 hours away. Just go to him. You'll be fine. But go more often. Did the lady that told you to come see me tell you how often she comes to see me? No. What do you mean, how often? Said she comes every 2 weeks. I adjust one vertebra, it makes a half a second difference. Oh, wow. So you think I should go see him more often? Yeah, definitely. All right. This is Dr. Mike Keck. We use him. This is Shock. Shock's the world's fastest flyball dog. Unfortunately, Mike's a quiet guy, and he doesn't like to tell a lot of people that chiropractic is his ace in the hole. We did get it out of him finally one day. But, you know, chiropractic is utilized by 90% of world-class human athletes. Shouldn't your dogs have the same services available to them? Shouldn't your horses have the same services available to them? If you're lucky, you know, the owner of the world's fastest flyball will have a huge mouth on him. Not so much. You know, we're lucky in that our current world champion Shih Tzu dog, she has a lot to say. And it's all positive and it's all good, and we're doing a lot of Shih Tzu work. We went from a lot of flyball work, a lot of agility work, we moved, now we do a lot of Shih Tzu and IPO work. It's just what's in your thing. I mean, but you find these people, there's world-class athletes all over the country. I mean, I know there's people that send dogs to Westminster all the time. We used to have a lot of dogs that go to Westminster. Right now, we don't seem to work with too many of those kind of dogs. What are the causes of subluxations? Trauma, thoughts, toxins, right? What are possible things that cause the adjustments not to hold? Trauma, thoughts, toxins. How come my horse isn't holding his adjustment, Doc? these horses in the picture on the left, right, what do you see? Happy horses? Yes or no? How many think they're happy horses? On the right. They all got their heads sticking out.
No. They're not.
What should a horse be doing? Eating. If they got their head sticking out the stall window, are they eating? What are they doing? They are looking for the lion. Because they don't feel that they are in a situation where they can get away from the lion fast enough. So horses either eat or look for the lion when they're left to their own devices. So if they're not eating, they're looking for the lion. That means they're in sympathetic or parasympathetic drive at the time. Sympathetic. Can anything else be working properly if they're in sympathetic drive? No. Muscle tone. Okay. Which horse is going to hold his adjustment better? Which one has the tone to hold the adjustment? The one on the left or the one on the right? Right. How often do I need to see the horse on the left? Weekly, maybe every couple days. On the right, a month would be good, don't you think? Probably. Depending on what he's doing. All right. They tell me it's break time. Let's take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk more about that animal. We're going to talk more about us. We're going to talk about LOCs. We're going to talk about game phase. All right.